Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In Forged in Fire, 4 bladesmiths compete in weapons forging competitions to impress a panel of jurists and win the prize money. And here are the best weapons ever featured on the show. Number 1. Japanese Katana. Because of its deadly reputation and its use in film and television, the Japanese katana, with its iconic curved and chisel-shaped blade, is one of the most famous swords in history. It's known as much for its cutting ability as it is for its arduous craftsmanship. Forging a traditional katana can require weeks or even months of work by several bladesmiths. The blade first appeared late in the 13th century as a weaponized response to the Mongol invasion of Japan. Japanese warriors needed a resilient, flexible blade that was sharp enough to cut through the Mongol army's thick leather armor. Molded from specialized Japanese steel called tamahagane, it was often worn on a belt with the curve facing upwards. This position allowed a warrior to remove the blade from its sheath and cut into its enemies in one lethal motion. Number 2. Viking Battle Axe. Viking law required all men to carry weapons, and the battle axe was a favorite of many Norse warriors dating back to the Stone Age. Unlike swords, which were often only carried by the elite, axes were carried by warriors of all classes. Their large blades and long shafts could cleave through the toughest chainmail deep into the flesh of enemies. Axes were also useful off of the battlefield and were often used to build houses and ships. The two-handed Dane axe and the one-handed bearded axe were 2 of the most common battle axes. Number 3. Katar. With its distinct H-shaped hand grip and its short, wide, triangle-shaped blade, the legendary Katar has garnered a reputation as the most famous Indian dagger. Unlike traditional knives, the blade of the Katar sits above the user's knuckles, and it has long metal bars that extend up the forearm for extra protection. The oldest known blades were found in southern India and are believed to be from the 14th century. Like many other weapons throughout history, Katars also conveyed their owner's social status. Some were encrusted with jewels and even included tiny pistols on either side of the blade. The fancier the weapon, the more powerful the individual was who wielded it. However, even the most basic Katar was deadly when used by a well-trained warrior. Number 4. Elizabethan Rapier. The rise of the Elizabethan rapier can be traced to the invention of early personal firearms. These new guns made heavy suits of armor like those worn by knights less effective and a cumbersome liability. As suits of armor declined in popularity, the need for heavy armor-piercing weapons also declined. This led to an opening in the market for a lighter, faster sword, and the rapier stepped in to fill it. The word rapier is believed to come from the Spanish term espada opera, or sword of the robes. It was meant to be worn with civilian clothing and not armor. The traditional rapier blade is longer, some over 40 inches in length, lighter, typically weighing between 2 and 3 pounds, and much narrower, typically 3/4 of an inch, than its medieval predecessors. It was also used differently, with more of a thrusting motion rather than a slashing motion. Number 5. Moro Kris. In this episode, the bladesmiths must forge the Moro Kris, a weapon used so effectively by Filipino fighters in the Philippine-American War that it led directly to the invention of the Colt 1911 pistol, one of the most famous firearms in the world. With its wave-like curved blade, the Moro Kris is one of the most distinctive blades in history. Its origins date back thousands of years, but the blade as we know it today is believed to have first been crafted in the 14th century in the kingdom of Majapahit, East Java. It became the go-to blade for many warriors all over Asia for hundreds of years. Although the hilts of these swords are known as works of art and signs of status, the curves of the blade are designed for maximum carnage. They inflict a wider wound than a traditional straight sword, causing targets to suffer heavier and faster blood loss. According to Leroy Thompson's book, the Colt 1911 pistol, this sword, and the Moro soldiers who wielded it so effectively against the United States during the Philippine-American War actually led to demand for a more effective service pistol, which is why the now iconic firearm was created. This is considered one of the best weapons featured on the show. Do let us know in the comments down below what was your most favorite weapon. With that said, we reached the end of today's video.